In this video, I interview Cody, who is the CEO of the product research tool for Etsy called Everbee. I personally love Everbee. This is the software that I use ever since I started selling digital AI art on Etsy. It's the best product research tool that I know. Everbee allows you to find products very fast that sell right now, and also analyze your listings. For example, it can tell you if your listings are SEO optimized, and if they've been listed on Etsy for a while, it can tell you the ranking. So it can tell you on a monthly basis or a weekly basis if your listing is ranking higher in the SEO or lower in the SEO. Really useful stuff. It can also inform you if there's any trademark issues related to your listings, because it didn't analyze them, and it kind of looks for the keywords that might trigger some trademark issues. So this is great. And Cody is a great human being. I love that he has a similar background. He comes from the Amazon Etsy world. I come from the eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy world. So it's amazing to see someone from the e-commerce background doing what he does. He seems like a great entrepreneur, and I have a huge respect for him and his team. And before we start, this video is a shorter version of the longer interview that I did with him, but you're not missing out because all the juicy parts are included in this video. The major information, you're gonna get it. However, if you wanna see more raw footage with more backstory and my personal interaction with Cody, I have this video available to my YouTube memberships. You're gonna find the link for it down below under this video if you wanna see that. But you're not missing out on anything major. All the juicy parts are here. You also have timestamps if you wanna skip something, so don't worry about that. Without further ado, let's start the video. I have a big question for you, because you've been selling on Etsy. You've built a software based on Etsy SEO and research and all of that. What's a secret to Etsy algorithm? Is there something that you can recommend? Or maybe not a secret, but the practices that are useful?
Step one, you need to. Good question, by the way. Everybody wants that question. Everybody wants that answer, even including me, by the way. So my answer will come from more fundamentals based. First, don't sell something that you just want to sell. You should sell something that the market wants, not what you want. So first, step one, I tell anybody that asks me this, sell what's in demand. Why else do it? That's literally a definition of a business, is to serve your customer with solve a problem for them. So step one, you have to have a product that's in demand. It's really hard to create demand on Etsy or any other platform, meaning you invent a product and you just put it out there and you expect people to just come and search for it. Why would they search for something that they've never heard of before? Right. They wouldn't do that. They have a problem. They're searching for a product. Your product, you need to place your product in between the search, right? Right after the search, that's where your product needs to be, not before, right? You need to have a product that they're searching for. So step one there. Step two, gosh, there's a bunch of sub-steps to this. But a platform, if you think about it from a platform perspective, if you were Etsy, what would you care about the most? You want to create sales. You have a customer. If I'm an Etsy platform, I have my shoppers, my buyers. I'm successful when they find what they want. Okay. You need to give them what they want. And so really it's a matter of just creating the sales velocity. Etsy wants to push products that are creating sales, creating conversions. So whatever you need to do when you first launch a product, you need to launch it. And ideally you want to get sales in the first 7 days, 14 days, 30 days for sure, right? What this does is it tells the platform, oh, wow, Patrick just launched this product. Oh, wow. He's only got 100 views, but he's got 4 conversions. Mm-hmm. Whoa, that's above average. Let's push this again. Let's push it a little bit more. Let's push it a little bit more. Oh, look at Patrick got another 100 views on this listing, and he got another 4 sales. Wow. Okay, let's push it more. And pretty soon, and then you get reviews, and then it's your conversion rate starts to bump up a little bit, and you go from 100 sales to 100 views to 4 sales. You get 5 sales, and pretty soon that's how you stick. This is how, in theory, this is how you stick. And so that, I know it doesn't sound like rocket science, I guess, but that's the secret. And I think we are so worried about as sellers, we all always looking for the short hack to finding success. Like really it's delivering what people want. And then if you have a hack for it, it's like create early sales for a new listing. Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense to me because I feel like, and you can probably agree, I would assume you can probably agree with this, that that philosophy that like just sell whatever is selling, sell whatever people are looking for, you can apply this to any marketplace. I feel like, because that's what I do on eBay and Facebook. I just look for stuff they're already selling. And same with Etsy. It's the same philosophy to me. So
it's not like you copy. It's not like, and I guess for the people that didn't hear that properly, right? Is like if you don't just find what people are looking for when they're buying and then go and sell the exact same thing. We're not saying that. We're just saying that like take the fundamental of it and then you can improve the product. Ideally, you improve the product by 20%, 30%. That's my general rule. Everybody will have their own rule of thumb.
I don't even think it's like selling or improving product. You can, like it's summer right now. So there's going to be people looking for bikes or something because they're going to go outside. Just start selling bikes. I mean, this is a stupid example. This is just something that
no, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
And like there's millions of bikes. You can just like find one that nobody else is selling or something, or in regards to like digital products on Etsy, I see a lot of like floral print on demand products, floral patterns, stuff like that. You can create so many different floral patterns. It doesn't have to be the same one that all the people are selling. Just create something similar, and
that's exactly something similar. Something it could be. You could improve it. You have a couple options, right? You could either improve the listing and make it better. But what does better mean, right? Better sometimes just means a different color. Yeah. Better for certain people. It could be a different pattern. It could be a different picture. It could be a better picture, better mock-ups, better description, better listing, better tags, right? You can make the better pricing, right? Like when I say improve it, I don't necessarily mean like you have to go and reinvent this cup, and put two handles on it instead of one. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like you can improve this listing sometimes by just making the mock-ups better, putting two women in it. Yep. If you're targeting women, right? Put a dad looking guy if you're targeting men, right? This is where people, I think there's a little bit of disconnect when they hear me and Patrick, you and me talk about like just sell what's already selling. They think, oh, I just go copy what's selling. No, just take the data and now make it different, make it better. Somehow find your little positioning with your listing. But hopefully that makes sense.
No, it does. How important? The reason why I'm asking is because you have a very technical knowledge compared to like me. I mean, I have some sort of understanding, but like you sit in this more in depth. I would say, how important, in your opinion, is like SEO, let's say title optimization, using like SEO keywords in the listing title versus just having something that's in demand? Because we just talked like just sell what's in demand, right? What's in the what product is all popular right now, but like you might have a popular product, but like some people might not be aware of like how to optimize their title correctly.
Yeah.
So, but like you see those listings all the time, like their title is really bad, but they're still getting like a lot of sales.
Yeah.
From your experience, how important is like the SEO?
Sure. I think it's important, certainly important. Like it's almost like silly to disregard it as not important, I would say. But always comes down to, do you have a product that people are actually looking for and actually buying? So step one is still the truth. But then it's a matter of like, well, you should also optimize these things. Why wouldn't you do that? Almost like, why would you not do that? That's kind of silly, right? Like if I want to have like a Father's Day, mug, right? Coffee mug. And I just put coffee mug in it. Or if I just put like Father's Day in it, like that doesn't make sense. It might get some sales somehow by Etsy just randomly pushing it because it's a cool product. But like, it's almost like the boxes. You should always have you should just check boxes, and title optimization, listing optimization is just a box that you need to check for sure. Because if you're not doing that, you're just missing sales now at this point. Like you could have this awesome product and maybe you get sales from it with a very terrible title. and you might getting sales. That's great. But how many sales could you be getting if you just had a well-optimized title? Like you could probably 10x this thing, right? Or 5x your sales.
Yep.
So that's how I view that. So it's certainly important, man. I both are important. All things are important when it comes to a listing, right? Like you could say the same thing about images.
Right.
I'm sure we can go there too. But anyway, yeah, certainly important.
Okay. Let's go to Everbee. Let's talk about Everbee a bit.
Cool. My favorite. My life, my baby.
The way I use Everbee, and maybe you can help me. I only use like a couple of your features, and the main one is that analyze listing thing, which gives you like a column, and it shows you, oh, this listing sold that much, for that much. This listing sold for that much, and that whenever I do this product research, I always look for like how new is the listing, how optimize like the SEO optimization, what's the score over there, and like how many sales a month it's getting, right? That's the only reason why I use this.
Sure. That's why it was created. That was the original creation, the purpose of that. Yep.
But I know there's more to it. Can you tell me? Can you like explain the other features you guys
sure.
have?
For sure, man. The first core feature, the why it's existing even today, was to help you find in-demand products to sell on Etsy. That's exactly what you're using it for. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. Different people have different methodologies and different strategies for this. Like you could even sort by, as you probably know, you can like search for, let's say, shirt, for example, and then you're going to get the 64 listings on that page. Everybody's going to analyze 64 listings. But if you click on analyze more listings underneath that, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not sure if I ever used that feature.
Try it. What it does though, now it basically it searches shirt in our entire database, our listing database.
Okay.
So not just 64 on the page, it actually it searches Everbee's database now, which has over 25 million listings total right now and growing. And so you'll find like there's 5 million shirt listings in Everbee. And we'll be able to sort by the best products according to 5 million across 5 million listings rather than just 64, which is cool. But the point is with that is like you can nerd out on the data. You can go deeper and deeper if you wanted to. That's the way I look at it. But that's what its core purpose is. The one thing that I love, like a little secret to Everbee, I think that only certain people use, again, if you're kind of nerdy in this, is to go to listing age, and you could click on filters, and you could filter by certain things, like start creating filters. You can go to listing age, and you could put a maximum listing age of 3 months.
Okay.
And you could do then you can go to total sales and do a minimum total sales of, let's say, 300 sales, right? Or 1,000 sales. And right away, you'll be able to see like trending products just by those two things.
Because so you add filters, basically.
Add the filters, exactly. And
okay.
I do this for fun, just because I'm just like, well, I wonder what products like listed in the last 3 months have over 1,000 sales. Like that, for me, that's a definition of a trending product. How
do you go to how do you access these filters?
You click on filters in the table. Above the table, you'll see like a little filters button. You just click on filters and it'll pop them up.
I'm gonna take a look later.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've seen it, or maybe I wasn't looking. But yeah, that's exactly something that I need. I need something like that because it can speed up the process of filtering out what works and what doesn't. So
exactly,
this is perfect.
Okay. But aside from that, like keyword research, we're always trying to improve this. Our algorithm is starting to get really, really solid on our keyword search volume. Like it's getting better and better as of like this month, depending on when you're listening to this. We added competition, so we're adding competition right now. So competition of each keyword. So now you can understand. Okay, the search volume of this keyword for dad cup is 2,000 searches a month. Competition though is 100,000 listings.
Yeah.
Competitive listings. Like, should you use that in your tags? Should you use that in your titles? I don't know. Maybe not. So and then we just launched Trademark Monitor this is more for the advanced sellers, the people that are doing like $5,000, $10,000 a month on Etsy. because they're worried about infringing on trademarks on accident and getting their shop shut down.
Can I give you a little feedback? Because actually,
Please.
before we started this interview, I went on Everbee and I saw that trademark thing that you're talking about, and it showed me that I some of my listing have it, like they are
Yep.
trademarked, but the keywords it was showing me was like bunny or rabbit.
Okay.
So
Do you
yeah,
have bunny and rabbit in your listing?
yeah, like in the title.
Okay.
So I don't imagine that's really a trademark work, right? That bunny.
It actually is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, we only show trademark items. Like it's legit. But the thing is, though, for you to
Oh,
know, and here's where you're asking is it relevant for your listing? And the answer is probably not. So what you do, all you have to do is basically click on it, click on the number, the
yeah.
serial number, and then it'll show you what product, like, it'll take you to uspto.gov
Mm-hmm.
directly. And now you'll be able to see, well, bunny is trademarked. Okay. But for what category of products?
Okay.
If it's, let's say yours is digital art, I
Digital.
guess you could say,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Bunny is probably not not trademarked for digital art. It's
Oh,
probably trademarked for something to do with like Easter bunny. I don't know, whatever it is.
right.
If it's not categorized for your category, then you're clear. You're good.
This is really good to know.
Yeah, it's trademark law and trademark compliance and stuff. I'm not the expert either on this, but I do know enough through e-commerce knowledge of it's important for us to be aware of these things and then understanding, is it apply to me or does it not apply to me? In this case for you, very likely does not apply. So all you do is click on snooze, the little bell icon, and it would just remove that alert from showing it to you again because
Gotcha.
it doesn't apply to you. What we found is that you should still scan those things though, because if in a small chance that it does apply to you, you should know. Like
Yep.
you should know this stuff. If you're accidentally infringing on a trademark like bunny for Easter bunny, and like you have some whatever, like you should know those things so Etsy doesn't slap you with a suspension
Yep.
and you lose all your income.
I am glad that I asked these questions because I needed this clarification. This makes more sense now. This makes sense
Cool.
why that works.
It's in beta right now, so like there are some things being some tweaked and worked out. So thanks for asking that. But and there needs to be more knowledge and education around trademark stuff, like in the Etsy community, because there's a lot of problems. People getting their shops suspended for just like they feel like it's no reason, but it's like a couple like just simple things that they should have known before. I don't know, before creating a listing.
No, I agree with you. I made the same mistake when I started out on Etsy. I I saw that the very popular listing is like people were making these like fan made paintings of like Disney characters or something, and there was so many listings and they were all popular, and I was like, oh, since these people are doing it, I can probably do it too. But I go into this rabbit hole of trademarks and everything, and that's like a big no-no, like the biggest no-no probably. So it's very important to stay on top of
Totally.
it and try to avoid any issues in that regard. So
Yeah, and where we found is like a lot of our sellers, a lot of Everbee users and customers have like 1,000 listings,
mhm.
sometimes 2,000, 3,000 listings, and it's extremely manual to stay on top of the trademarks. Like you might be in the clear for Bunny today, right?
Yeah.
Or you checked in the uspto.gov and it's clear, all good.
Hmm.
But what about next month if someone came along and registered Bunny? And now your shop, by the way, does 10,000 a month, right? And like you didn't even know that this was now a trademark, and then all of a sudden you get slapped with a suspension, and all of a sudden like you lost all your income just in a matter of like
Yeah.
one day, right? To prevent this, to stay on top of this, you would need to actually go through all of your listings all the time and like manually check every keyword. So that's why we built Trademark Monitor. Is to basically just do it all for you, and then we recheck it every single month into the database, all of your keywords, to make sure that people are at least aware of, hey, this thing is trademarked. At least check it out,
Yep.
So anyway, that's the idea. We can go on all day about features. Another one is listing rank tracker. Have you used that at all yet?
Listing pray. Wait. What?
Listing listing rank tracker.
No, no.
This is like my favorite, but it's super underrated
Uh huh.
because it's pretty advanced for like a Etsy seller community. I noticed it's really popular on like Amazon selling.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, if you have a bunny digital art, right? Do you ever wonder like where you show up in the search algorithm for
I
your
do.
keywords?
Yes.
And then typically, what you would do is you type in bunny art, and you'd probably type it in the search bar, and then you'd go and look for your listing. You scroll down, and you don't see it, and then you go to page 2, and you look for it. Scroll down, you don't see it. Page 3, and
Right.
you're like, oh shoot, I'm on page 4. Cool, okay. And then you go do it for another keyword, right?
Uh
Digital
huh.
bunny art, and then you go for like AI bunny art, right?
Right.
And then you basically have a bunch of like a huge amount of listings or keywords that you want to go do this for, because you should know this, like where you're ranking for each keyword. Listing rank tracker does it all for you. And so all you need to do is basically just use the listing rank tracker, connect your listing, and put the keywords that you want to track. And by the way, we do most of that for you in
Uh
this in
huh.
the software. And it automatically checks your listing rank tracking for every single keyword every single day, and it plots it on a graph for you. So you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is say, you know, you just have to go look at it basically, and you can make optimizations from that.
This is why I always like talking to the CEOs, because I've talked to a couple other CEOs of like other software companies, because like I use their tools, but like I never use it to their full potential.
Sure,
Now, you telling me all of this is very useful, because I wasn't even aware this exists, and this sounds super useful, because
that's
now
cool.
you can see where you're ranking basically, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out after this
Yeah,
this call, how to
dude, that's
use it.
awesome. Yeah. So what I noticed, and the biggest thing for me was, I kind of built this a little bit for myself, selfishly, to be honest. Like listing range tracker, I was curious about our own listings, and then like my sister's listings, who they sell on Etsy a lot.
Uh-huh.
My wife sells on Etsy, and they would ask me these questions. They're like, "Well, I got a couple sales. Where do they come from? Like, how are people finding me?" And I'm like, "I have no idea," And so that's one of the reasons why we built it. You should know. You should just know. Like, if you have a realtor shirt.
I was a realtor too, so
Oh, nice, relevant.
yeah.
You build you make a realtor shirt, and this realtor, let's say real estate agent, has a 2,000 searches per month. Where are you ranking for that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm ranking like number 40. That's first page, by the way. That's really great. And then are you sticking there? And then you're crushing it with this new realtor shirt, and you're getting a bunch of sales, and you're like, wow, I'm doing so amazing. Etsy's so cool. And then all of a sudden your sales drop off. By the way, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what happened? Like, what happened to my listing? Great question. Like listing rank tracker, you can actually go and see, oh, you lost rank for your main keywords. Like you're just not ranked at all anymore.
This
And
is
then you
kind
could
of what happened to me recently.
really,
So your tool can tell me that I dropped.
it'll tell you
Okay.
which keyword you dropped off for. Yeah.
All right.
As long as the keywords are being tracked, like as long as the historical data is in there, as long as you have that tracking implemented, then it will show you why you tracked. Like I was talking to my sister the other day, and she had this listing that she created. She put so much effort into it. It was crushing, like 100 sales in like 2 months, crushing for her. And all was going great. And then all of a sudden, like all was not going great. And like no more views for some reason, like hardly anything. Views just dropped. And she was like, what happened? I'm just like, oh, well, let's look at your listing rank tracker. Cause I set her up on it, when we first launched it. And I'm just like, see, you lost rank on this day here on Tuesday. Like you completely were not found pretty much any day after that. And she was like, and I asked her, I said, what changed on Tuesday? Did anything happen on Tuesday? And she was like, let me look. Oh yeah, my sale kicked off on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
So she had a 70% off, and all of a sudden she wasn't on sale anymore, full price.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Etsy obviously did not like that, and they stopped ranking you for that reason.
So what you're saying is like, if something works, don't change it. Just
yeah, always.
okay. All right. I usually do that, but I usually follow that philosophy too. But uh, I had a similar story. I had really popular listings that were selling like crazy. I was
Yep.
getting like 100, 200 sales a month. And in May, it dropped to like just couple a week maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna take a look into your tool now and see. Maybe I did something that in May that made my listings drop. So I'm definitely gonna use Everbee now for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um,
I mean, data is power if we know how to use it. If we know how to look at it in a simple way, data can be super powerful.
100%. If speaking of data, since you're mentioning it, if you don't mind me asking, how do you guys get the data for your software?
Sure, great question. So now that we're 2 years in, like we've built a whole bunch of complex stuff, but simply put, we get some data from Etsy
Mm-hmm.
specifically. We get it directly from their API. We usually get like very basic data from them typically. And then from that, we process it and build our own algorithms to like get the monthly sales algorithms, to get the listing score, all this stuff basically, or the visibility score, the review ratios, the conversion rates. Like we calculate all of that information,
Mm,
but we base it off of some of it off of direct Etsy from data from Etsy. Ideally, we get everything from Etsy. This
yeah.
would be the ideal, right? I would love it if Etsy one day was just like, hey, here's all the total sales for each listing. Here's all the monthly sales for each listing. And here's the monthly revenue too, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Like, but Etsy will never share that information with us. So we have to basically carry the load and actually build the algorithm to estimate those things for people.
Interesting. So you use, I assume, initially just the Etsy data. Then once you got some, you start building your own data based from the Etsy data, and now you're kind of combining, I assume, two of those, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Not even two, probably like 10 or 20 of different data points to come up
Okay.
with certain things. Yeah, depending on what we're trying to come up with. Um, Monthly sales, total sales, all these things are really complex, because it's not like you can't just use like one data point to estimate, how many sales a listing got. Like it's not quite that easy because there's a lot of factors. Favorites come into play, views come into play, conversion rate comes into play, how old your shop comes into play, review ratio comes into play of how many reviews your shop gets based on average. All these things are factors when it comes to like estimating total sales. So it's probably like our biggest challenge, because it's so important to people, like to have like pretty accurate data on their monthly sales estimates,
Gotcha.
because we're basing our decisions based on that.
I sell digital arts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually like that word because it's not really art, but it's, let's say, images. Okay.
Okay.
The AI created images that
Okay.
I modify in Photoshop. This I feel like this is a relatively new trend. I feel like I am a little bit of a contributor to this because like a lot of people watch my videos and now they jumped on this
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this trend.
Double-edged sword. Yeah.
Right. But my question is, because you can see the data, have you seen an increase like digital product space? Is there like a significant impact of these AI created images based on the data you've seen, or have you actually seen anything that can indicate that?
I can't say I've actually looked into digital AI stuff,
Uh-huh.
created images myself. I'm aware of the trends. I'm aware of like your channel. I'm aware of like just AI in general. Obviously, like everyone's adopting this thing. It's super
Yeah.
cool, super amazing, powerful. I haven't actually looked at the data like specifically on that, but I will say like from like holistically, like just looking at the data just in general, like I always do.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen like a material impact, like a really big impact, meaning like I don't feel like there's like an oversaturation of these sellers creating a bunch of listings. I don't really think that that's the case. I'm sure there's obviously more competition for
Right.
sure, but there's also more demand. There's always going to be more demand as like new things like this come into play. Uh, I don't have like a specific hard data like number to give you, but certainly making an impact.
Well,
AI for
that
sure.
sounds good that it's not oversaturated, that that makes me feel at ease. So
Yeah, I mean, I would probably look at like the listing. I'm sorry, keyword research tool. My first go to myself would I'd probably go into keyword research on Etsy and type in like digital AI art or whatever the keyword
right,
is.
right, right, right.
And I would just look at the search volume, and then I would also look at the competition, and I would like try to understand um, how that is, and then I'd probably track it again next month, probably just to see if this thing is like how the ratio is looking. From the if I were to really nerd out on it, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. What do you think is more popular on Etsy for sellers? Do most people sell digital products or like the physical products?
That's cool, man. That's a cool question. I've been actually thinking about this too. I think that print on demand, which is physical products,
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways, is probably the most popular. If I would have to guess, like
Mm-hmm.
exactly, Etsy would have this data more than anybody else. But because it's more popular, like meaning like it's more tangible, it's more accessible. Anybody can basically go to a Printify or Printful or
Right.
some print on demand platform, and basically like they know what they're going to get. All they have to do is put an image on that thing, and it has value. A digital product is a little trickier because you actually have to be creative by creating a digital product. Typically, like you
Mm-hmm.
actually have to think about, okay, how to actually structure this product if it's a template. Um, they're both popular. I'm noticing though, digital is becoming like people are more interested in digital at the moment. I've noticed this in the past like 6 months that people seem to be like, physical product is great, print on demand is great, but digital product is way easier and it's way
Yeah.
more quote unquote passive. So I'm going to go that route, and that's cool. I have seen that trend though. Like more interest has been in the digital space. I'm not a huge digital seller myself, so I don't know. I'm always questioning like how much money, how much of an income, or how sustainable digital products can be, because they're fairly easy to copy after it's created. And maybe you could tell me what you think about that. But like,
Well, that happens to me. Everyone is copying my listing. I literally found like six people that do exactly. They don't even bother to like change the name of their stores. They already name their stores the same as mine,
my gosh,
and like they see use the same logo, the same listings. Like that's kind of not the point. You're supposed to. Just like we said, you can sell products that are popular in demand, but like create something similar, change it, not
yeah,
just these people just copy everything one to one. But
yeah. The way I
anyway,
look at it is, oh,
I'm
go ahead,
no
finish.
yeah, this is new to me too. I've been only doing this for 3 months, so I'm trying to learn how to beat them up. uh on eBay, when I fight the competition, I usually just change like the title or like the listing image, and
Mm-hmm.
most of the time that does do the trick. I try to avoid the price gagging. I don't like lowering my price and be the cheapest
Sure.
person, because I for two reasons. One, I think it just like lowers your brand, and it seems like branding matters. And
Mm-hmm.
two, I want to make some money, so like I don't want to lose. um
Sure.
but yeah, I don't know what's like a right strategy for this.
Yeah. I think like as long as the way I look at it is I think like longer term horizons, just meaning like 5, 10 years. Like I don't want to do anything that I'm not going to do for 5 or 10 years. So if I'm going to build an e-commerce store, if I'm going to build an Etsy store, e-commerce brand, like I'm going to be in this thing for 5 years minimum. And so therefore I have to think about how do I actually add value to this,
Yeah.
to the ecosystem? How do I add value to the ecosystem is probably the most important thing. If it's by just ripping off Patrick's like images, right? Is that really adding value to the ecosystem? Not really. I'm just kind of extracting
Right.
value, not really like giving value. I'm actually extracting value. I'm taking more than I'm giving. And that's just not a way to win. You're not going to win a business this way. It's very short sighted, and it's not sustainable.
I like that way of thinking. Like instead of like you see like exact copycatting is like subtracting value that's already valuable. You're just trying to get like a little piece of it.
Like a leech. Yeah, it's like
Right.
a leech. You're
Instead of
sucking.
creating new value, adding more value. And yeah, okay, I like that. I'm gonna follow that philosophy. I like it.
You probably already are naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Cody. Again, if you want to see the longer version, join my YouTube membership. So I'm going to have link for it down below under this video. If you want to check out Everbee, I have an affiliate link for it down below under this video as well. And I think this is all the shills I have for you today. Enjoy your day. Go sell stuff on Etsy, make money, and I'll see you next time, my friend. Take care.